Honestly, today I even forgot we had a game today. With all the noise and the media that's been going on, not one, but two press conferences, emergency conferences held by Florentino Perez himself. And just the interviews of was basically just him talking about himself. It was like I was seeing Homelander in him. I never seen him this rattled and shaken up before. But all in all, coming into this game, when I did view it, it was Real Madrid 2, Oviedo nil. And throughout this whole game, you would think to yourself that Oviedo is a team fighting for European places, fighting to get to the second top of the table, but they weren't. They were a team that already basically sealed themselves relegation into the second tier. But somehow, some way, the same Real Madrid team makes it a competitive game. Throughout the periods of the first half, it was mainly Real Madrid getting the ball, holding tight. But then when it came to second half, you saw this team, the Oviedo, pick up another level. They were able to get shots off, still pressure us, and still make opportunities for themselves. A relegation side being able to come to the Bernabeu and do what they did against us. It has been the story this whole season, whether it's team organization, team pressing, or it's just players not caring at this stage of the season. And who can blame them? Honestly, who can blame them? Half of their foot for the ones going to the World Cup is already there. And for others still competing for, a starting spot in the World Cup, such as Trent competing for a spot in the World Cup team. Well, not the team, the starting 11, and Jude Bellingham. And Jude Bellingham came on in the second half today, and I thought he played pretty well. One of the finish that he had, he got the ball from about 18 yards off the top of the box, cut in once, cut it again, shimmied, and finished the bottom corner with his weak foot. But tell me, where does Jude Bellingham fit in this Thomas Tuchel team? We've seen throughout the Euros. Tell me, now where do you think Jude Bellingham fits throughout this Thomas Tuchel team? We've seen throughout the international friendlies that he has favored Morgan Rogers over him at the 10 position, and even sometimes Foden as well. But the main man used to be Jude Bellingham that would come up and score those goals for England in the Euros for Southgate and them. But this new Thomas Tuchel has kind of not favored him whatsoever. And you think to yourself, this is a good game that Jude had. But where does he rank amongst the England tens? Is he ahead of Morgan Rogers, Foden, Gibbs White, Eze maybe? So I thought this was a pretty good game for Jude Bellingham. He's been injured for a lot of the season, so coming back into the form, coming back to the way know he can be, is is pivotal for England. And without him, I don't think England will reach that far. They need a maverick in that midfield, someone that will be the captain on the field, because they did bring the likes of Henderson for the pre-trials. Who he'll be a leader off the pitch, in the dressing room at training, but they need someone on the field. And a few other players that played, I felt like Brahim Diaz played really well today. It's the second game in a row where he started and he's played very lively, and it's just all that's needed from him is a GA, honestly, because there was moments, the brilliant runs, his pressing, coming into the midfield, picking up the ball, and just how the silkiness and the dribble, he's just able to get past the players like they're not even there, and he's 2-footed as well. And I felt like this was a quiet game for Vinny. Yeah, he got some chances, beat his man a few times end line, but I feel like for the most part, he's playing it safe, not really going gun ho as we know. And Gonzalo Garcia today got himself a beautiful goal and got the ball from inside the box and just finessed the far post like a striker's finish, how you would. And if we can get him in more positions like that on the field, I truly think he can be a star player for Madrid, or at least a number nine that can do something just like Jose Lu did for us, where he can come on, change the dynamic of the game with the abilities that he has, whether it be in the air, whether it be on the ground, or just being a poacher in net. And this Real Madrid team, it's starting to worry me. And I think it's not because of the I think it's because of the care. The players today really didn't show that they care that much, because a Real Oviedo team that's getting relegated is still coming to the Bernabeu, about give going back to back with us and we're giving them chances. And even later on to the second half, Santi Cazorla came onto the field. A 41-year-old came onto the field and was still seemed like he was back in his 20s and 30s. It's almost like it's like a charity match. Like we're just giving the ball to Cazorla. Here, do what you like. But all in all, this I'm so ready for the next season to start, and I'm ready for the next season to see what Jose Mourinho does, what is the new signings that we bring and what they do, and what the new dynamic will look like. Because this team needs surgery, it needs help, and another player that won't be going to the World Cup, a few actually, is Alvaro Carreras won't be going, and Camavinga. The Camavinga one is not that surprising that he's not going due to the circumstances and the way Real Madrid mismanaged him. I'll talk about this briefly, but I'll go more in depth into a later video. Real Madrid has stunted the growth of Camavinga. They have stunted the growth of the Camavinga. Because of that, he is not going to the World Cup. And some of it is on Camavinga as well. When he is in the game, he makes these passes where it's like, dude, come on, stay sharp, stay locked in. It's just like he can't stay concentrated for a full 90 minutes. And maybe when Kroos and Modric were here at the club where, he was always a substitute to Kroos, he didn't need to concentrate for those 90 minutes. He knew what his task was, 30, 40 minutes, get in that game, high intensity, do what you can. And from there, it will be smooth sailing. But another factor of his progression just hurting at Madrid is just the magnitude of positions that we played him. We played him at left back before, played him at DM, CM, attacking mid, and under Xabi Alonso recently, right wing. He's finding himself in places all over the pitch, and that's really, for a young player, yeah, it's good to be multifaceted, multi-round, but you still need to solidify one position that can be your own. And similar to the PSG players, Zaire Emery and Mayulu, whether it hurts them later on in their career, we just don't know yet because they're still showing at a high level that they can perform at right back, center mid, at the 10, right wing. And Mayulu has done all those positions, but he's still a young player surrounded by the greats around him. If he wasn't around the likes of Vitinha, João Neves, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, will he still be able to put up those performances? Who knows? Only time can tell with playing that many different positions. And it's almost like being a jack of all trades, master of none. And I feel like that's her Camavinga in a way. But I don't want to go too deep into this topic because I will make a separate video in itself on how Camavinga has been treated as a Real Madrid player, how his growth has been stunted, and who knows, maybe the door might be open for him to leave this summer. And I really don't want that to happen because I loved Camavinga when he first came to this club, and he's always been one of my favorite players. But just to see the path that he's gone, it's disheartening for me. I never want to see a youngster go out that way, and just the lack of concentration and growth has been a key factor in his development. And then we saw more substitutions come onto the field with the like of Yanez, I believe Palacios, Carvajal, Jude Bellingham as well that came on and scored that goal, and Kylian Mbappe. And once Mbappe came onto the field, I was actually surprised that he was getting booed by the Madrid fans and the constant throughout the rest of the half. And I didn't really see that coming from the Madrid fans to boo Mbappe, but still, it was an okay performance. He had a free kick, a few shots on there, a couple offside chances, but you can just see by the body language of these players, they're ready to head to the World Cup. And I don't blame them for getting ready to head to the World Cup because, it is a latter stage of the season. Barcelona already won La Liga. And there's really nothing much to fight for. But yeah, if you guys like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share. It has been Mohammed Bin Sports, MBS. And until next time, take care, everyone.